After Nick Saban made his speech the other night in front of donors in Birmingham, Alabama, all that made the headlines was what he said about Texas A&M buying players and about Jackson State. But I thought of something else. Let's talk about it. What is up, college sports fans, fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? This is Coos, and welcome into another edition of Coos' Corner. Come in, sit back, relax. Let me serve you up a shot of top-shelf college football content. If you like that kind of content, please hit the red subscribe button. Please give me the thumbs up if you like this video. Please share this out with all of your college sports-loving friends, because if you like this content, there's a good chance they will too. And also, don't forget, leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this subject, which is, are we going to witness the death of NIL collectives just as fast as they started? And is it all Nick Saban's fault? Well, that speech that Nick Saban made the other night in Birmingham, Alabama, that made all the headlines, in my opinion, made the headlines for the wrong reasons. Yes, he called out Texas A&M for quote-unquote buying players. Yes, he mentioned Jackson State allegedly paying $1 million to Travis Hunter. But what stood out to me in that whole thing was the spotlight he put on NIL collectives. In that speech, he talked about how NIL collectives are being used to recruit players. As long as it's done right, it's not illegal. As long as you're not promising players money to come to a school, and the school is not actively involved in that process, it's not illegal. But Nick Saban kind of painted, in my opinion, NIL collectives to be a little on the shady side. Now, he did admit Alabama has one, but he says they use it correctly. But my concern is the spotlight. When he put the spotlight on NIL collectives like that, it made me think, what does this mean for the collective at West Virginia called Country Roads Trust and other collectives like it throughout the United States, throughout the country? Is this going to cause them to potentially even get shut down? I think it's very possible. Because let's not forget, folks, the NCAA had already been talking about cracking down on boosters, essentially paying players or paying recruits to come to schools. And they could be using NIL collectives to do that. Now, that is wrong, and it is illegal. However, I'm of the belief that most NIL collectives out there are being run the right way. And they're being run to support players that are already currently on these teams. Like West Virginia's, for example, the Country Roads Trust. They're taking current athletes, they're putting them on podcasts, they're getting them in touch with local businesses to help form NIL deals. And that's the right way to do it. But the problem is, Nick Saban has a big voice in college football. Whether we like it or not, he has a very powerful voice. And if he's putting such a spotlight on NIL collectives, along with the NCAA wanting to crack down on boosters, are they going to now take a really long, hard look at these collectives and potentially even start banning them or shutting them down? And if so, could that hurt programs like West Virginia in recruiting or some other mid-tier programs, mid to lower-tier Power 5 programs? Because and I think it will, and here's why. I'm of the opinion that NIL collectives will help schools like West Virginia compete in the NIL world, because we're a smaller state. We don't have as many businesses that players can use to get NIL deals and this and that. And the collectives give players one more avenue to use to find those deals. It gets them in touch with all the right kinds of people. And Nick Saban wants to talk about parity, and he says he wants parity in college football. Well, first of all, I don't believe that, because I think Nick Saban first off could be using this as a tactic to get NIL collective shut down so that he can get Alabama back to the top of the recruiting game in college football. And he doesn't want schools like Texas A&M and these other schools being able to use these collectives to out-recruit Alabama, because Alabama doesn't need collectives. They can recruit without them. But some of these other schools might. And even if they're doing it the right way, a school can use a collective to their advantage. Like West Virginia, for example, they could tell a player, look, if you sign at West Virginia, we've got this NIL collective available to players, to athletes, through the Country Roads Trust. if you become a member of the team, you will have the option of using Country Roads Trust for your NIL deals. There's nothing wrong with that. They've not promised them anything. They've not paid them anything yet. All they're doing is telling them, hey, there's this collective out there that will be available to you. And they can use that to their advantage. And it will help, and that will help bring parity into the sport, in my opinion. But if Nick Saban truly wants parity, then he wouldn't make such a big deal about these collectives, because those collectives are going to help with parity. And another thing, too, is it could actually hurt the student athletes. Nick Saban says he's all about NIL. Well, if you take away the collectives, you're removing one more resource for these student athletes to use to get these NIL deals. They could use these collectives to their advantage to help them get more deals. You take the collectives out, they're going to have to rely on agents and people like that to help find local businesses, which could A, cost the players more money because they're going to have to pay the agents in a lot of cases, and B, it might make it harder to find the right businesses because these collectives are local to the communities. They know the local business owners in these communities. They're going to be able to get a phone call with them or a meeting with them to help set these players up with these deals, probably a lot easier than an individual agent or any other resource out there. So I think Nick Saban's comments could actually hurt the student athletes and the lower to mid-tier programs because it will take away that resource of the collectives that can be used to create parity and to help student athletes out. Now, was it Nick Saban's intent to do that, or could it just be collateral damage from the statement he made in front of those boosters in Birmingham, Alabama? Let me know in the comments section what you think. Do you think Nick Saban's comments could be the death knell to NIL collectives in college football, or do you think I'm way off base here? Do you think it's not a big deal? Do you think the collectives won't be touched? Or do you think collectives do need to be banned? Or do you think collectives need to be regulated more heavily? What do you think? I want to hear your comments down below. Also, don't forget, I've got a merch store now, folks. See the shirt hanging behind me? You can get yourself one of those. You can get my ugly mug on your T-shirt or on your coffee mug or on your ball cap or whatever it is. Help me grow my brand and my channel. Link in the description box. Also, you can hit the join button right below the video. Become a member of Cougars Corner for a small fee. You can hit the thanks button right below. Make a small one-time donation. All that helps out my channel. If you want to support me for absolutely free, all you have to do is like the video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, or share this out with all of your friends and let them know about me. I really appreciate you tuning in. And until next time, Q Country Roads.